What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to the Jake and his cat show, where we tell you about the newest and greatest ESO event and how you can profit. And specifically in this video, what you should be farming every day, how to get into the event, and what is the most effective way to maximize your time. And ESO Plus is free, which means that every single one of you watching this video, even if you don't have ESO because it's free, you could download the game right now and jump into this event, which is absolutely amazing because this is one of the most profitable events in ESO, and we're going to talk about all that and more in this video. But as a quick reminder to just like and subscribe to the channel. Every like, every subscription, every comment is helpful, and stick around to the end of the video where I'll tell you more about how leaving the comments can help you. But let's jump into the video. So, starting us off, you're going to want to head to the Crown Store, into the featured section, and pick up the event quest Bane of Dragons. This is going to have you complete 3 tasks. Why I'm highlighting this, because generally this is very straightforward, is it's going to take you to Northern Elsweyr, take you to public dungeon, take you to pick up some dirt in the middle of nowhere, and then it's going to ask you to kill a dragon. That probably sounds relatively easy, you might be thinking. Well, unfortunately, Northern Elsweyr can be a bit tricky to find dragons sometimes, so what I would suggest is actually going and finishing off this quest in Southern Elsweyr, because as we talk about later, Southern Elsweyr is the moneymaker when it comes to farming dragons and making profit. But before we jump into the profit margins, we have to first talk about event tickets, because everyone loves event tickets. I always have to talk about them. You're going to get one from Northern and one from Southern. To do the Northern Elsweyr quest, you're going to want to pick up one of the quests in Rimmen. I still generally think that killing the dragons is probably the easiest objective for you to do. However, I will point out to you that very depends on when you're playing, as sometimes it can be very tricky to kill a dragon in Northern Elsweyr because there's a long distances to get to the dragons, and some people will literally sit on where the dragons spawn and wait. So you might run all the way from a way shrine only to find yourself at a dragon that's already dead. So now we're going to head to the happier zone to complete quests in. And now we're in my happy place, the place that my chess piece comes from, Southern Elsweyr. We're actually in a little tiny island in the far south here. You can see us down in Tideholm. Now, there's a couple quests that you can pick up here. The most essential point that I want to draw your attention to is actually the Dragon Guard Operative. Now, what makes Dragon Guard Operative so essential to what I'm talking about today is actually it's going to increase the amount of drops that you're going to be getting from actually killing dragons. What does that mean? It means that by unlocking this achievement, you're going to get access to Dragon Realm. Now, you actually only have to get reforging the Dragonborn to get this achievement. However, if you do get the Dragonborn Operative, you're able to loot the chest that is right behind me that you'll be able to see here in just 1 second. But once you have this quest, you get access to what's called the Good Bits. It's a quest that you can pick up upstairs. Doing that quest makes every dragon you kill have a chance to drop Realm, which is a highly sought after consumable material that's used in very high-end potions. So I highly suggest that you guys are working towards this achievement if you don't already have it, because it's good the entirety of the year. And you can see that this also comes from doing your daily quest, and if you also help to restore the Ancient Order, doing the main storylines. If you want to try to do both of those things at once, you're able to, and if you get to 30, you're able to loot this chest here right behind me. But in doing these, you'll also get your 1 daily event ticket, which I believe now resets at 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Always seems to depend on when everyone seems to do their daylight savings time. So that's always the little tricky piece, but that's when those quests are going to reset for you. And now, the magnum opus of the video, what I suggest you do every day of this event when you're able to, and it's so simple. Kill dragons. Now, specifically in Southern Elsweyr. Now, why Southern Elsweyr? You can see it's a small zone. It's also not mountainous like Northern Elsweyr. There's only 2 real dragon spawns that either be up here in the north or down here in the south. This is, I have pre-marked one of the most common landing areas for the dragons, so I even know where I have to run to from the way shrine. But overall, this is such an easy zone to dragon farm in. It is ridiculous. It makes Northern Elsweyr pointless, truthfully. So you're able to go over up to the dragons here from the way shrine. And what's nice too is because it's such a small zone, if you're brand new to ESO, you're just getting ESO Plus for the first time, you actually are going to have access to getting to these dragons because you're not going to have to unlock 50,000 way shrines that require 10 bajillion movement speed to go through each individual time. Now, I will warn you that there is a good chance that the boss or dragon will be significantly damaged by the time we get there. And I would also remind you guys to have your companions out, because there's a very, very good chance that these dragons drop companion gear, which obviously you guys are going to want to get. And that you can see that we're getting here, and the dragon was already in execute. We were able to execute it, which is great, but for those of you in my video, when I made the original video, who said that you were unconfident about your ability to kill dragons, well, don't worry about your ability to kill dragons. Worry about your ability to get places consistently. Now, this is the first day of the event. This is the most competitive. The event is just starting. People are getting off work. Obviously, it's not going to be as competitive throughout the entirety of the event, but this is just a good kind of synopsis on what to do. You're going to want to be making sure that you're hoarding your dragon blood, dragon bile, as well as your dragon reum. Now, some of you may be wondering, is it worth selling during this event? And the answer to that is no. I always encourage you guys to wait until at least 30 days after the event's over, because that gives enough time for everyone who listed during the event their prices to be dropped off the market, and the market will then usually return to some state of normalcy. Sometimes it could take a little bit longer, obviously, but generally I don't suggest you sell these right away, because you worked hard for them. You know, you should get the most amount of money bang for your buck. So wait until at least 30 days after the last day of the event, or generally 45 to 60 days after the event ends. Plus, they stored nicely in a craft bag. And just as a quick synopsis for those little silly gooses that stayed here the rest of the time, because might as well hit on the rest of the points on what's going on. So as you can see, extra rewards for dragons, group bosses, delve bosses. Obviously, we talked about that. Extra yields from harvesting nodes. It's a great time to go out and harvesting nodes. Southern Elsweyr is a great place, by the way, but there's also a great spot in Southern Elsweyr along the southern rim, which I'll show you guys here in a bit. You also are able to get extra bosses from Sunspire. This is important because Sunspire has some amazing sets to it. Highly suggest that you guys farm Sunspire. If you're looking to get into an easy Sunspire trial, I would suggest just go sitting in Craglorn and then finding a group that's running it, because there's generally going to be groups running it. Extra boss drops from Frostbolt, Depths of Maltar, Moongrave Vein, Lair of Marsalok dungeons, also great to know. And it tells you about how to get your style pages, what you can get from the boxes, the new one, which is the Claw Dance Acolyte Armor style, and how you get your coffers, which we've already talked about here, and how to get your event ticket. So I think we're about shaped up here. As a quick little final point, I'll show you my favorite spot to farm in Southern Elsweyr, and I'll take you guys there. Right meow. So we are down outside of the Two Moons at Tenmar Temple. Very interesting name here. And I actually really like this whole southern portion of the map, from the Delve all the way over to the Moon Gate. I think that it is a great area to farm resources. So you can actually see there's people already doing it because it's so good. I will warn you that as a very sparsely or very decorated area with lots of plants, it makes it significantly easier if you have the ability to spot them. It does look like there's people farming it here right now, unfortunately, because it is a very popular area, but just an area to keep your eye out on, because I figure might as well talk about all the odds and ends and the good bits of this quest. I did make a previous video. You're more than welcome to check that out, and I'll link that in this video as I talk more about the drops that you might want to consider getting from the dungeon. So check out that video. Leave a comment in the comments below. What do you think? What do you think about 2023 as a whole? Because I'm very excited, so I hope you guys are also excited, like a little schoolgirl like I am, where I'm like, ee! But let me know in the comments below, because if you do leave a comment, if you would so choose to, you'd be entered into the giveaway. I'm pulling 2 comments here in 4 days. So if you'd like to be entered, all you have to do, I pull 1 random comment from subscribers. I pull 1 comment from everybody and their mom. All you have to do is leave a comment, any comment you want, and boost your odds by being a subscriber. 34.5% of you are subscribed. Let's get that number to a nice even round 35%. It would mean the world to me. And I will catch you guys later. Bye, guys.
You better remember to like and subscribe to Jake Clips. Or you should. I might have to pluck your eyes if you don't. Or, better yet, I'll skip rope with your entrails. Do it now. Subscribe. Ta-ta. Off with you.
Don't have a whole crazy amount to say, except that I feel bad that this is a way longer video than I wanted. But I thought good way to rehash the event kind of over. Now that we have some of the specific details like the new Acolyte style, might as well kind of rehash some of the points. That way you don't have to go watch the previous video. Even though views, I mean, view-wise, I wouldn't be upset if that video got some more views, wouldn't be too upset. But happy that ESO Plus is free, happy that you guys will be able to all participate in it. So hope to see you guys in the Dragon Slaying, and I'll see you later. Bye, guys.